Welcome to the From Egypt to Zion show to all of the newcomers, and welcome back to all of my loyal subscribers. I apologize, I had tried to upload this presentation about a day ago, and it just simply was not working. The audio was off, and just seemed like some spiritual warfare has been going on. It's actually, I've been dealing with spiritual warfare for a long time, which is why it's taken me this long to put a new presentation out. But to no avail. Um, I'm here and I'm very thankful to be before you today. And we're going to go over this topic. It's called The Gathering of Yahsharal, True Israel, out of the places they were scattered. And let's just go ahead and begin. A recap of why Israel went into captivity. Now I'm going to be reading from some scriptures, some biblical scriptures, and it says, "Set the trumpet to thy mouth. He shall come as an eagle against the house of the Lord, because they have transgressed my covenant and transgressed against my law. Israel shall cry unto me, my Yahweh know thee. Israel hath cast off the thing that is good, and the enemy shall pursue him. They have set up kings, but not by me. They have made princes, and I knew it not. Of their silver and their gold they made them idols, that they may be cut off. Thy calf, O Samaria, hath cast thee off. Mine anger is kindled against them. How long will it be ere they attain innocency? For from Israel was it also, the workman made it. Therefore it's not Yah, but the calf of Samaria shall be broken in pieces. For they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. It hath no stalk, the bud shall yield no meal. If so be it yield, the stranger shall swallow it up. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure. For they are gone up to Assyria, a wild ass, alone by himself. Ephraim had hired lovers. Yeah, though they have hired among the nations, now will I gather them, and they shall sorrow a little for the burden of the king of princes, because Ephraim hath made many altars to sin. Altars shall be unto him as sin. I have written to him the great things of my law, but they were counted as a strange thing. They sacrificed flesh for the sacrifices of mine offerings, and eat it, but the Lord accepted them not. Now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sins. They shall return to Egypt. For Israel hath forgotten his maker, and builded temples, and Judah hath multiplied fenced cities. But I will send a fire upon his cities, and it shall devour the palaces thereof." So what I have read came from Hosea chapter 8, and it describes how and why Israel went into captivity, because they did not keep their covenant with the Most High Yah. A recap of why Israel went into captivity continued. For they served idols, whereof the Lord had said unto them, "Ye shall not do this thing." Yet Yahuwah testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, "Turn ye from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants the prophets." Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but hardened their necks like to the necks of their fathers, that did not believe in Yahuwah their God. And they rejected his statutes and his covenants that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them. And they followed vanity and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord Yah had charged them that they should not do like them. And they left all the commandments of the Lord Yah, their God, and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove and worshipped all the hosts of heaven and served Baal. And they caused their sons and daughters to pass through the fire and used divinations and enchantments and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of Yahuwah to provoke him to anger. Therefore, Yahuwah was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. So it sounds to me like Judah was sold into captivity because Judah may have been keeping the commandments and the laws at that time. However, the whole Israel were backslidden, and they continued to serve other gods, most likely the fallen angels, and they wanted to be like the heathens. And to this day, you can actually see this at play, where a lot of Israelites, or if you will, African Americans, the Negro, wants to be just like the white folk. And let's just keep it real. That's exactly what it amounts to. Because a lot of the Gentile people, the Caucasians or Edom or Esau, a lot of our people, they emulate those people instead of being themselves, instead of keeping the commandments and the laws and the precepts that the Most High had given our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we were supposed to keep that covenant. But what happened is our people did not keep that covenant. And so they went into captivity, and it spells it out here in this book. People refuse to admit the judgment is here. Yes, non-believers and some Christians will just try to explain it all away in order to try to take the glory from Yahuwah. Many people either were not raised with the knowledge of the word of Yahuwah, or they just blatantly refuse to study the word because they have not a love for the truth. The purpose of this disbelief is in making the word of Yahuwah of none effect. And the scriptures say, let no man deceive you for by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called Yah, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of Yah, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was with you yet I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. Okay. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, and he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause Yahuwah shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. However, those of us who are truly believe in Yahuwah, we already know that the Holy Bible prophesied that these things would happen. The Christian church refuses to teach the truth because they simply want to appease the world. It is very difficult for Christians to be open-minded or to accept the truth, even with being shown the truth in the scriptures, because they are under a strong delusion and they have been indoctrinated for so long. Additionally, many Christians won't even pick up a Bible to study the scriptures for themselves. They often sit under a preacher or a pastor who teaches out of the New Testaments primarily, and they won't teach the Old Testament. Moreover, many of these church leaders will take a few verses and then center their teaching around a specific topic, but won't actually teach the whole chapter nor the prophecies because they don't want to offend anyone by telling the truth. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9 through 12 says that even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause Yah shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So you see, family, the Christian church refuses because, number one, a lot of them are gatekeepers. Number two, they want to appease the heathen. So they try to teach these feel-good messages, or they just skirt and dance around the truth by omitting. What I mean by omitting is that they will just teach the New Testament, won't teach the Old Testament. They definitely don't want to read anything in the apocryphal text, because if they did so, it would do a lot of exposing. It would do a lot of exposing of who people truly are. Scoffers in the last days. Now, many people living in these last days, even though they see tragic events unfolding, they still do not believe that judgment is here. Here is scriptural proof of that. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of Yahuwah, the heavens of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with Yahuwah as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. Yahuwah is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. So it may seem like the Most High is not returning, but he is returning. He's trying to give us time to repent. But see, what happens is a lot of people, they're not even thinking about repenting. They're just simply enjoying life. They're just like in the days of Noah, they're partying, giving in marriage, until the day that the flood came and took them all away. And this is where we are today. A lot of people just, they think it's a myth. I've honestly heard people say, well, who wrote the Bible? That they're doing this just to keep us under control. Well, we'll see, because what I've come to understand is that prophecy is playing out just like the scriptures said that they would. And if people cannot see that, then something is vastly wrong with their understanding. Examples of Yahuwah's judgment. Now, if you're paying attention, you can see that judgment is on this land, and actually judgment is on this whole entire world. We can see it through the fires that have been taken over in California and have been spreading. A lot of those fires cannot be extinguished, and they've been going along. And this is not even the season for fires, but yet it's happening. We got floods going on, a lot of flooding around the world. We got a lot of plane crashes, planes falling out of the sky. Oh, yes, we do have a lot of these things happening, and some of it can be blamed on Donald Trump and his administration, because they have come in and started firing essential workers, especially those that are federal workers that are, they are very necessary to be able to operate things, especially operate, air traffic control and various means, and those types of industries. Those federal workers are needed in those areas. And then you can have a Elon Musk, who is not even an American citizen, is coming in, into the office and also assisting Trump with these changes. So we can see that judgment is actually here on this country and in places throughout the world, but most specifically here in the United States of America. Provoked the Most High Yah and kept not his testimonies, but turned back and dealt unfaithfully like their fathers. They were turned aside like a deceitful bow, for they provoked him to anger with their high places and moved him to jealousy with their graven images. When Yahuwah heard this, he was wroth and greatly abhorred Israel, so that he forsook the tabernacle of Shiloh, the tent which he placed among men, and delivered his strength into captivity and his glory into the enemy's hand. He gave his people over also unto the sword, and was wroth with his inheritance. The fire consumed their young men, and their maidens were not given to marriage. Their priests fell by the sword, and their widows made no lamentation. Then Yahuwah awakened as one out of sleep, and like a mighty man that shouted by reason of wine. And he smote his enemies in the hinder parts. He put them to a perpetual reproach. Moreover, he refused the tabernacle of Joseph, and chose not the tribe of Ephraim, but chose the tribe of Judah, the Mount Zion, which he loved. Scriptures of Yahuwah's promise to gather a remnant of Yahsharal and those not of the fold continued. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20 through 23 reads, And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote him, but shall stay upon Yahuwah, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God Yah. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness, for the Lord Yah of hosts shall make a consumption, even determined in the midst of all the land. Isaiah chapter 43, verse 1 through 6 reads, But now thus saith Yah that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. And when thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. For I am Yahuwah, thy God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. I gave Egypt for your ransom, Ethiopia and Seba for thee. Since you was precious in my sight, you have been honorable, and I have loved thee. Therefore will I give men for thee, and people for thy life. So he's talking about the remnant of Israel that will be returning. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, Give up, and to the south, Keep not back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth. So this is him talking about who he's going to gather from out of the places where he had driven them. The gathering of Yahsharal continued. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 8 through 10 reads, "But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Thou, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant. I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away." You see, family, people think that Israel was thrown away. This is the mindset of Edom. They believe that we will cast away, but here's the Most High saying here that he have not cast us away. "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness." Isaiah chapter 11, verse 10 through 12 reads, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught," meaning nothing. Family, we are leaving Babylon soon. We are leaving Babylon soon, Yahsharal. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 3 and 8. 3 through 8 reads, "And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries, whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahuwah. Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his day Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely, and this is his name, whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that they shall no more say, Yahuwah liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but Yahuwah liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land." Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 1 through 4 reads, "The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord Yahuwah, God of Israel, saying, Write all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book, for lo, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith Yahuwah, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave their fathers, and gave their fathers, and they shall possess it. And these are the words that Yahuwah spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah." More scriptures about the gathering of Yahsharal continue. All right, Zechariah chapter 8, verse 7 through 8 reads, "Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, Behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God in truth and in righteousness." Hosea 3 and 5 reads, "Afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God and David their king, and shall fear the Lord Yahuwah and his goodness in the latter days." Ezekiel chapter 23, verse 25 through 26. "And I will set my jealousy against thee, and they shall deal furiously with thee. They shall take away thy noose and thy ears, and thy remnant shall fall by the sword. They shall take thy sons and thy daughters, and thy residue shall be devoured by fire. They shall also strip thee out of thy clothes and take away thy fair jewels. Amos chapter 9, verse 11 through 15 reads, In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord Yah, that that doeth this. Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their dwellings, which I've given them, saith the Lord thy God. More scriptures about the gathering of Yahsharal. Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 8 through 9 reads, Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, If you transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. But if you turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them, though there were of you cast out to the uttermost parts of the heavens, yet will I gather them from there, and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7 and 11 reads, Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahuwah of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off his neck, and I will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. So, family, right now, the strangers, they serve themselves of Yahsharal, as we have to work these jobs. They get paid off of the work that we do, such as in all of these different various industries. It's like they're in the background making the money while we're out there in the forefront slaving. But this is exactly what this is talking about. But they shall serve Yah their God and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore, fear not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahuwah, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. For I am with thee, said Yahuwah, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee, yet I will not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. So you see, we were brought into this land as a punishment, to be chastised, to be brought back to ourselves, to get us back on track. Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 21 through 23 reads, And say unto them, Thus saith Yahuwah, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and I will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And say unto them, Thus saith Yahuwah, Behold, I will take the children from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and will bring them into your own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms. Excuse me. And I will make them, oh yes, I will make them, let me read that one more time. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all, neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them, so they shall be my people, and I will be their God. So here, Yahuwah is speaking about cleaning up Israel. So at some point there, he's going to purge out the rebels and bring them back into their land, and they should not be afraid, because he is going to join all of Israel. It's not going to be two nations anymore. It's not going to be a divided. It's going to be all of Yahsharal together, those that are left on the continent and those that are being brought back to the continent, and they're going to sit to serve the Most High Yah together. How we must prepare in the latter days. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, and that ye not receive of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahuwah hath remembered her iniquities. And this comes from Revelations chapter 18, verse 45. So family, if you are being led by the Holy Spirit and you have the means to get up out of here, then by all means get up out of here. But the Most High is going to, he's going to judge this place. This place is already being judged, and we may have to flee this place, family. That's just the reality of it all. But for those that are not in a position to flee, that don't have the money, the resources, who may be sick and shut in, who wants to get up out of here, keep in mind that the Most High has to keep his promise. He stated that he will gather us from the four winds of heaven. He said that he will send his angels to gather us and to bring us back into the fold, back into our own land. So he's going to honor his word, whether we have the means to leave up out of here on our own, get a passport and travel, or whether he will send his angel. But I do believe something supernatural is going to occur, and that those that are supposed to be gathered up out of here will be gathered. The Antichrist, the beast system, and the coming tribulation are imminent. Could we be witnessing the emergence of the Antichrist? It seems that all of the signs are here in Babylon, USA. We have an unelected billionaire in the White House, and it seems that our government is being toppled and taken over, and draconian law seems to be instilled. Family, if you don't see that handwriting on the wall, that this beast system is at play and is being instilled, I don't know what else to show you. But I will say that Elon Musk and his team is here to put in the new surveillance system, just like how China has their system set up, where there's like a surveillance state and people are being watched 24/7. This is where they are trying to bring this country to. This is why they can come into the White House and start removing workers, removing infrastructures, removing systems that are already in place, and they're reconstructing it themselves. And these are tech people. So understand that this is what's happening, is that the New World Order is coming into play. The mark of the beast. For nations shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All of these things are the beginnings of sorrow. Mark chapter 13, verse 10 through 13, and Luke chapter 21, verse 10 through 19 reads, Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Prophetic end times. Mark chapter 13, verse 14 through 23, and Luke chapter 21, verse 20 through 24 reads, When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Mark chapter 13, verse 24 through 27, and Luke chapter 21, verse 25 through 28 reads, Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even into the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So that means that you're going to know that it's him. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers excuse me, of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So, family, there's that promise. There's that promise that I talked about in the previous slide, that he is going to send his angels to gather us, especially for those that don't have the means to be able to get up out of Babylon by themselves, because they just don't have the financial means, or maybe they are just not well enough to be able to do it on their own. And so the Most High is going to send his angels to gather us. So fret not. Family, thanks for tuning in. And it would be a blessing if you can make a donation to keep this this channel going. You can donate to cash.app /$ from Egypt to Zion show, or you can donate at our PayPal at paypal.me / from Egypt to Zion show, or at our Patreon at patreon.com / from Egypt to Zion show. Don't hesitate to subscribe. And by all means, comment. I really look forward to your comments to see what your thought processes are. Share the video and like the video, because the algorithms work best when you are supporting this channel, family. So I am just very glad for any support that you may provide to this channel. Thanks again for tuning in. And until next time, peace. Shalom.